Method got gnomed. True. I don't agree. Okay. What changes would you guys like to see towards ults and loot that can benefit both the average raider and the world first raider? I guess that's today's question. Let's talk about loot. Hey guys, Chris Potter here, and today we'll be answering that question. What changes would I like to see to the loot systems to benefit both the average raider and the world first raiders? So let's start with the obvious. Titan forging and sockets are an absolute mess. You can do normal mode, and if you get a little Titan forge, a little socket, it can be better than a mythic Ashara drop. That's insane. This system is also bad for the casual players because it gives them less incentives to try harder content. And at lower gear levels, the difference between getting a socket and not getting a socket is actually even bigger than at higher levels. And that's even more true on small budget items like wrists, rings, those kind of items. If you don't get a socket, like, it's really sad. For the world first raiders, the system is even worse. That one heroic week, which has already been made an RNG fiesta by forced personal loot, which I guess we'll talk about in a minute. It now also has the stacked RNG of when a random person gets loot, will they also get it Titan Forge 20 item levels, will they get a socket, will they get Lich, and it really just makes the gear and power gap between the lucky people and the unlucky people way too big. There's just a massive gap between power if you get lucky on the heroic week. Even though we almost have a 30-man roster, someone could theoretically get a guaranteed spot for progress just because they looted a couple of Titan Forge socket items on heroic week, and they're just way too powerful to not bring in. You know, they just have a spot 100%. So a quick note about Titan Forging. On the 8.3 PTR, it's actually been replaced with corrupted items. And this system really isn't any better. Instead of gaining item levels and sockets, you gain powerful effects, but with a corruption attached. Now this means to get Abyss item, you need to get this lucky. The item that you want drops, like the correct slot, you know, weapon, helm, whatever, with the stats that you want. So maybe you want the crit verse, hands, but actually, you know, get the haste first one's unlucky, so you need to get the item you want with the correct stats on it, you know, the correct item. I think it can still get socketed with corruption, so you want it to get a socket. It then needs to become corrupted. It needs to have the best positive effect for you, and by the way, there's like 10 different positive effects, so it's quite RNG. You could get quite a bad one. Some of the positive effects are way weaker than others. You need to get the best positive effect for your class. Then the positive effect needs to be the highest possible positive effect, and the corruption amount needs to be the lowest it can be for that level of positive effect. That might sound quite complicated, but my point is the amount of good RNG, like the amount of times you need to roll the dice and get lucky to get a truly best in slot item, is just insane. Like, it might take you forever to get one truly best in slot item. Also, some of the positive effects are outrageously strong, like I said, and some of them aren't that strong. So the massive power differences really shouldn't be so random. It feels a lot like Legion legendaries, how they were at the start. You know, that lucky guy in your guild will get 2 pieces with the best stat and be like super powerful and just destroy everything. Meanwhile, you will get completely wrong pieces, wrong bonus, wrong everything, and the power gap is just massive. And it's really, the game shouldn't be that much RNG based that someone could be that much more powerful. Then we have personal loot. Not as bad for the casuals, I think, because, you know, casuals pug more, and when they're pugging, they have a fair chance to get loot. There's no, like, master loot, ninja loot going on. However, this is still bad as in pugs and lower ranked guilds. There can be an absolutely huge difference between the top and bottom performers. So if you're one of the guys performing really well in your pug or casual guild, and someone else is getting full carried, like, it can't be very fair that that guy just randomly gets loot from personal loot and you don't, you know? The guild leaders from even casual guilds should be able to reward good effort. For the world first raiders, it's obviously even worse. We have an idea of which classes we want to prioritize gearing, which players we want to prioritize gearing. Let's say we know there is a big DPS check boss coming up, and on the early mythic bosses, all the personal loot is just looted by healers, just randomly. And your DPS actually gained like hardly any loot. It's a situation that could happen. Or the people that loot the items, it might not be an upgrade for them because their current item has better stats, but they can't even trade it because it's higher item level. It's just completely wasted loot. I mean, it's just a terrible system. Residuum not being seasonal is one of the biggest mistakes they've made this expansion. For casual players, it's not as bad since they can spend their Residuum and enjoy their life. They're not going to lose world first because they're not trying for it anyway. so they can just spend their Residuum. For world first players, it's way worse. We only care about getting world first, and it means that we can't spend Residuum for the entire tier. As soon as we kill an end boss, we just start saving Residuum. We can never actually buy our best piece, which is the whole point of the system of Residuum, right? Is that eventually you save up and you can get that really good piece, but we can't. We have to save it up the entire tier and then gamble it for a random mythic piece to help us with the next progress. It really should just be seasonal. Why is it not being made seasonal? It seems such an obvious and quick fix. I don't really get a reason why it wouldn't be seasonal. I personally think the devs just like to watch us struggle. I feel I should mention Benthic gear quickly as well, even though that's only for the Eternal Palace tier and won't be carrying on. But what an absolute mess that was. The items you get from essentially playing a slot machine over and over again, which you can roll a slot machine just by doing simple daily quests. Every day you just go and do your quests, get your mana pearls, spend them. And these items you get from this slot machine are just far superior to the loot you can get from the end boss on Mythic. I don't even know what Blizzard were thinking, honestly. Why does the most boring, simple, repetitive content reward not just one, but multiple items that are best in slot over Mythic end bosses? It makes no sense to me. I don't know. So, to summarize, the way they should fix the game is scrapping Titan Forging / Corrupt Forging, or rework it completely so that it's not RNG based. There should be goals that you can aim for and work towards to improve your gear. Like things like Valor, that kind of system. Not necessarily that system, but the same kind of idea, right? Where you can work to something. It shouldn't be a pure lottery of how good your gear is going to be. Like, you should have some influence of working towards something. They should give Master Loot back. There's no reason to force personal loot on Mythic raiding guilds. It's just obnoxious, honestly. Let us decide what we want to do with the loot. And also, make Residuum seasonal. That's such a simple one. I can imagine them actually implementing it takes maybe 10 seconds. You know, they go into the office and they just change a bit of code. Okay, maybe not 10, maybe it takes a day. Maybe it takes 1 day total to make that change and make sure it's all working properly. Done. That's how I would fix the loot systems. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Chris Potter. You can find more of me at twitch.tv/methodpotter. Be sure to leave a like and a comment letting us know how you would fix the loot systems and what changes you would make. And of course, any questions you might have for our next Ask Method video. Thanks, guys. Bye.